love to focus on the things that divide us. And the truth of the matter is, most of us really actually root for each other. And we look out for each other.
Rooting for this movie.
Well, thanks. Well, we're really proud of it. But we also,
Did you like rowing? Did you row?
No, I knew nothing about it.
Really?
Nothing about it. No, I learned from reading the book, and then we tried to emulate it.
Dartmouth, my
Oh,
nephew
the
rowed at
rowers.
Yale, so
Oh, so you knew something about it.
yeah, but they're on the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
You picked on them.
I know, we do.
Why did-
Well, we
why
pick
did
on everybody.
You shouldn't have done that.
No, but we had the Cal State Bears giving the money away, which they did, which is a true story.
It was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you, brother.
Well
I really
done.
appreciate it.
You know, when you're a young guy playing a sport or a young person playing a sport, coaches, you don't realise how amazing coaches are. I mean, it's almost like you think, oh, he's just the guy that yells at me a bit and tells me what to do or tells me I can't be in the starting five or whatever. And you're like, leave me alone. If they weren't there, it'd be like having no parent in your household. You know, who puts food on the table and looks after you and stops you from running across the street and getting hit by a car. Coaches are that to me, right?
But you were you had a lot of heart in the movie.
Yeah, but
You were not cold and distant.
well, it was trying to sort of strike this balance of those coaches. You know, Phil Jackson is a good example to me because, like, looked stressed a lot of the time. You know, looked like he had a weight of the world on his shoulders.
I couldn't hear. Do you row?
No, I don't row, and I probably never will. I'm not going to lie to you.
Football, soccer, baseball, and
And
tennis.
you grew
I
up
love
living
tennis.
in a car?
Yeah, how did you know? It was the same one that they used. They said you have one. I brought it along.
So you did a beautiful job.
Thank you very much.
And you had a great heart in it and a great... What was your favorite part?
You know, my favorite part was working with George, actually, and getting to know him and learning from him and growing with him. I also loved rowing. You know, it's hard. It's excruciating. I'd never done it before, and I learned
My
a lot.
son rowed at Dartmouth and my
Oh,
nephew
wow.
rowed at Yale.
Oh, okay. So you've got like a rowing community in your family. I didn't. None of us did, and it was a shock to the system. That's for sure.
So you were actually doing it.
We did it, yeah. We did it all for real, and we had 5 months of training. These guys gave us the best facilities down in Radley, in Oxford, in England, and yeah, it was like being part of a professional sports team.
So you love doing the role.
Sometimes, yeah. There were some days when I didn't like it, but ultimately, if we didn't have the hardship, we wouldn't have had the reward that we got at the end.
I love the movie more than any. Oh my gosh, I think everybody's gonna love it. There's something for everybody in it.
And what did you like about your role?
Oh, well, I love how grounded Joyce is and how supportive she is and how she really knows how to show up for people, which is an important value.
Is that the way you are in real life?
I try to be.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a great story. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And what made you interested to do a story that is so authentic about something out of the past?
Yeah.
1930s.
Well, what happened is my neighbor came to me, a lady I hardly knew. I knew her name was Judy. And she'd been reading one of my earlier books to her dad, and he wanted to meet me. So I went down the next day to meet this gentleman. And it turned out he was in the last couple of months of his life, living under hospice care. But his name was Joe Rance. He was this elderly gentleman. We sat down and we talked. He talked for a while about his experience growing up during the Great Depression and how hard that had been. He had a terrible family situation. His family abandoned him basically when he was 14. And that story in itself really got to me and touched me. But then he started talking about how he'd come to row on the crew at the University of Washington and how he'd formed this tight bond with all these other kids in the boat, and how they'd gone on to start beating the best schools in the East, and then they'd gone to the Olympic trials and beat kids from Oxford and Cambridge, and then they'd wound up rowing for an Olympic gold against a German boat at the Berlin Olympics. And it was just like, you know, as a writer, stories like that don't fall into your lap every day. And so I was just mesmerized right from that first time I talked to him.
Well, it's a great story, and it's a very family-oriented story.
It is.
And because he forms a bond with a young lady, and
Yes.
and they're very oriented toward forming a family.
Yeah, they were very, very much an adorable couple, I'd have to say, and that comes across in the movie. And it's all true. You know, I think they met each other in junior high school first, and then they reconnected at college, and then they married, and they raised a family. And they were together for, I think maybe 50 years, till they were both very, very old, till they died. So that's a lovely part of the story.
Was there a lot of faith in the story? Was he
The faith element that's in the story comes strangely in the person of the boat builder who built these beautiful racing shells for the team. His name was George Pocock, and he approached building his boats as this act of devotion or of love, as a craft. And he told the kids that rowed at Washington that if they rowed with that same spirit, that the closer they came to rowing, to perfection when they were rowing, the closer they came to the divine. And so that's really, Pocock sort of hangs over the whole story, and I would say there is a spiritual element, and that's really where it comes.
He's a great character. He's a great representative. Now, are you surprised that so many people love the book and I love the movie? So
Yeah, I was very surprised at how quickly the book. Well, actually, it wasn't quickly; it took a while, but how broadly the book won acclaim and won readership. I think it still surprises me. I think we're coming up on 3 years on the New York Times bestseller list. So I did not expect that when I wrote a book about rowing.
did you enjoy the role?
Deeply. It stretched me. It forced me to do things I never thought I was capable of. It helped me I rose to the occasion, and.
But in the beginning, you were about to lose everything in the movie, right? You were on the edge.
I was on the edge. I was on the outs. A little bit of a renegade, a mouthy renegade. I know, junior varsity, unacceptable because my bar is high. But
you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know how to row? Did you know how to cox? Had you done this before?
No, I had no idea how to do it, but there was a 2-month training process, and we had the finest coaches that the UK had to offer, and they were able to titrate 2 years of rowing into a 2-month curriculum where the fellas figured out how to row, and I learned how to cox.
So you were the heart and soul of the movie, right?
That's exactly what I was, the heart and the soul.
And that's what you were supposed to be in the movie.
I think so.
Did you love it?
I loved every minute of it.
Okay.
It's nice being, it's better than being the soul sucker, I guess, of the movie.
Even dressing down the coach and...
But, I mean, it was what a dream gig, right? You're like, hey, do you want to hang out with George Clooney and Joel Edgerton all day and pretend you're in the Depression? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
But it was a great role.
It was fun. It was a great chance to just be around those people, you know?
Yeah. But you did a good job.
Thank you.
Were represented. I really meant it when I said you were the heart and soul.
Oh, you're very sweet.
You
Thank
did
you.
a lot of very good moments.
Thank you.
in
That's
the
very
movie.
kind.
So, of course, it was mostly men.
Lots of boys,
We
lots
know-
of boats.
Yes.
Hence the name.
It wasn't the
But-
girls on the boat.
No, but we're there. We have the support the men. Be the backbone for them.
What was your favorite part?
I think just working with George. He is such an actor's director, and he was so communicative, and he knows what every actor needs. Like our insecurities are weird, just to be like, this is the shot we're doing, this we need, this is what I need. He has a great way of talking to us, and it was just such an invaluable experience working with someone like him.
Wow. I think it's one of his best films.
I think it's
if not his
fantastic.
best.
I love all his films, and this one
And
I
you-
have
and you
a
made
spot
it
on.
beautiful.
Oh, it was a dream come true. It was better than anything I could have imagined.
And have you ever crewed before? Have you ever rowed before?
Zero experience. Zero, and I'm not a team sport guy.
Okay.
I'm a solo sport kind of guy, so
It's a little. My son rowed at Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Where I went, and my nephew rowed at Yale.
there you go.
So what are you doing coming back?
Absolutely. What means I can do it? Absolutely. Well, I think for us, that's a very good point, because for us, I think, to a certain degree, it was more important to really prove it to the real rowers than it was to prove it to anybody who was involved in the film. Because I think only a real rower can appreciate just how difficult 8-man crewing is, and just how many things can go wrong, and how much time and trust it requires from everybody in that boat. And we couldn't have done it without the real rowers. They had, ex-Olympian coaches with us in the UK from day one. They had, real college-level rowers that volunteered their own time to be there with us, sweating and working every step of the way. And those guys were the reason that we were even able to come close to what these guys did in real life, So
You were the Jeopardy in the movie. I mean, at one
Right.
point you were losing the whole thing. So how did you feel to be the most focused person in the movie?
Absolutely horrified and terrified through the entire thing. Yeah, it was a big responsibility. I remember when they were cycling around the parts, and it could go a few ways in the beginning, and I thought about different things I wanted to do, and I sort of knew that this would be a huge challenge, having read the book.
So were you cast early on?
I think about the same time as everybody else, but originally they put us all on a list and they sort of played chess with us, But I'm very proud of, it was a huge obligation. These are real people. These are heroes, American heroes, and so I tried my best.
Well, you're a real hero. You did a great job. Do you play the piano?
I had to learn. They put me in some lessons with a guy from Juilliard. I asked him. He went like this at one point, meaning like 10 weeks. He said, no, 10 years to learn how to play this. I was like, I don't think I have time.
Everything you did was authentic, and it was nice. So thank you for making the movie more exciting.
Thank you very much. It's great to hear.
If you enjoy videos that follow your values like ours and you want to help us continue, go to movieguide.org/donate, because we're actually a nonprofit. You may not know that, but we're working in Hollywood every day to help families have more choices that follows their values. And also subscribe right now.